What's up, Team Diadem? We're back in the studio with another episode of Courtside Sessions, the show designed for junior parents, players, and coaches. We're here with a special guest today, the director of tennis at FAU University, Ricardo Gonzalez. Is that how you call it?
Yep.
FAU University?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I love that. And I understand that this is kind of a new role for you. You've been with the FAU program for almost over a decade now, and you're stepping into this new position. What's that all about?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. I've been at FAU. This is my 11th season, so I was with the men's program for 9 years, and about 2 years ago, I stepped up towards a director of tennis role. So overseeing both programs, staying busy, but I'm enjoying it so far.
That's awesome. And then when you were the men's coach for 12 years, you guys had a lot of success, and I think that that's a pretty cool thing that we could probably dive into and learn a little bit about how you cultivated all of that. When you first took over that program, did you have any prior coaching experience?
Yeah, as far as the experience, I was an assistant coach at Davidson College for a year. So I was one season there. I was at Smith Stearns Tennis Academy down in Hilton Head, South Carolina for 3 years. And I worked privately with Maria Fernanda Alvarez. She's a professional tennis player who happens to be my sister-in-law, who happens to be my assistant coach on the women's side at FAU. She was ranked 180 WTA in singles and 120 in doubles, so she was a pretty good player. Long story short, been at FAU for a while. It's been a fun journey so far with the men's program. When I first started, we were on the weaker side. Out of, I think, 250 Division I programs, we were one of the last ones. So it's been a fun challenge over the past few years to slowly look at the progress and see how the team is getting better.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the more interesting things is making the transition from being like an assistant coach to a head coach and then taking over the reins. What was there anything that you did early on in that process that kind of helped lay the foundation to build on?
Hard work. I was always trying to learn, willing to learn. It wasn't easy. Now I look back and I'm like, what the heck was I doing? Many times I was just kind of, playing it day by day, and I didn't know so much. I was asking a lot of questions to other coaches in the business. But here I am, and it's, now I feel like I know the way, to recruit, to build a team. So it's going well.
And I would love to hear a little bit about that recruiting side of things. I think that's really important for a lot of junior players, especially as they're getting older in their career. They start looking for that next step. What do you look for in recruits?
Look, I think it comes to a point. Obviously, I think talent is very important. Tennis is very important, but it comes to a point where, all the players are at a very similar level, similar UTRs. For example, with FAU, we're recruiting 12 UTR and above, give or take, all the way up to 13, of course. But it comes to a point where a 12-1 or an 11-9 or a 12-3, it's not much of a difference, really. So it depends. We look at the person. I think that's super important. We want to bring good kids to our team. We want to bring good kids where that are willing to work, that are willing to get better. So that's our main goal, and obviously the potential of growth on the kid. That's super important as well.
What are some of the things that you look for to kind of, pinpoint that player beyond just their statistics, their match history, their UTR rating will be a good fit for your program?
We believe it or not, we make a lot of calls. We talk to coaches, their coaches. We talk to, Instagram friends in common. We do our own research. And many times we don't know so much about the player, but it's one of the risks that you're willing to take. And obviously with the player, we talk many different occasions. Many times we don't even see the player play, just on a simple video that they send. We do go recruiting in Europe. We go recruiting in many places in the U.S. as well. So we're constantly recruiting, but I've been in many cases where I haven't seen the player play, and they end up coming to FAU and they end up killing it at FAU. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And then I know we were talking a little bit before we started shooting about going over to the Orange Bowl to do some recruiting. What do you look for when you're watching players play in person on the court and maybe even off the court too?
Yeah, their behavior. I think the way they behave on court is super important. Those are the little things that make a big difference. When we're talking about, there's so many good players out there. We're talking, look at the Orange Bowl list. When you look at the Orange Bowl list, there's, I don't know how many players, and they're all, give or take, similar UTRs, similar levels, similar everything. So their behavior on court, their attitude, their potential, just like we spoke about, athleticism, the way they talk to their parents, I think that's important also. We want to bring kids with good character.
100%. And is there anything that players could do in those situations when they come up and shake your hand, you guys start having a conversation? Is there anything they can do to stand out or anything like that in your opinion?
I'm a big believer, and I do this with my daughter as well. Look at the person's eyes whenever you shake that person's hand, or I think that's super important, and just the way you communicate. The magic words, like I tell my girls at home, please, thank you, all those fun words.
100%. And then another thing we talked about a little bit was how successful FAU's athletic program has been overall. The deep run that the basketball team had last year. Has that helped you guys with recruiting at all, the success of the other sports on campus?
Yeah, many people ask this question. Absolutely. I think it obviously puts us in the national, worldwide map. I think when I look back at FAU and all the coaches that we have, I think our athletic director has done a phenomenal job bringing good coaches. So I think that's been a big difference maker for all the programs at FAU.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can only imagine the buzz around the campus and everything with making the Final Four run in basketball. That's big time, And then I think another cool part that we can kind of dive into now a little bit, we talked about recruiting, is the actual culture on the team and what that looks like at FAU.
This year, so far, so good. That's one of the things that, as a coach, you want to make sure that you build a team first before building each individual, making sure everyone is on the same path. Just obviously things like being on time to practice, that's a no-brainer. Discipline, hard work, all these things, those are no-brainers. So yes, the culture, we have a good culture going on right now.
I think an interesting piece of that too is you take a bunch of individuals that you, like you were saying, are these high UTR, they're good players, and you had to bring them in and build a team out of it, which is different in college tennis than a lot of other environments. How are you able to take those individuals and kind of make them into a team? Is there anything that you do there that might be a little different?
Yeah, since the first day of practice, we talk to the team, and we have a team first approach, and we get the individuals to buy into the team first approach, and we have a lot of selfless individuals, so we have something good going on. So I'm excited for this season.
That's awesome. And then what's the energy like on your team? I know that that's another team dynamic element that coaches have to consider. What's that like? Do you guys practice with a high tempo? Is everyone excited? Because I think that's one of the cooler things about college tennis.
Yeah, the energy in college tennis is unbelievable. I think that's one of the unique things about college tennis. You come to one of our matches and it's loud, energetic, people talking trash from the outside, but no, it's a lot of fun. Our team is a bit more on the quiet side compared to many other teams. We've had other teams where they're super high energy. Every point you hear them saying "come on," or our team is a little bit more on the quiet, and we have more professionals, if that's the word. So they kind of like staying focused, not worried about the outside, and focus on their own court.
Is that something that a lot of your players are pursuing, is a professional career after tennis?
Yeah, we have most of our players. Yes, we have a couple seniors right now. One guy from Spain, Alberto Colas. He wants to be playing professional after he graduates. He's a really, really good player. Before coming to college, he was 900 ATP. Very strong player. Comes from parents who play professionally as well. So super, super talented kid. And we have some guys that graduated last year on tour right now as we speak. So yeah, it's as a coach, you want to bring players who have that goal, that vision to get better, that purpose, that are driven to keep improving. Had some players in the past where when after college tennis, that's kind of it for them. They don't have so much of a purpose. So obviously as a coach, you want to try to bring players in that, whether they want to play professional or not, that they have a purpose going forward.
Woo! Thanks for listening to this episode of Courtside Sessions. I want to take a second to talk to you about balls. Not this ball, these balls. Diadem Sports tennis balls. We have balls for every court surface and every need. Starting with our red, orange, green balls for the juniors, moving on up to our team balls and our regular and extra duty premier balls that are great for high level performance. We use these balls all across the world. We use them at the Pro Tennis Tour in Europe. We most recently signed a partnership deal with the New York High School State Athletic Association, and they'll be using our balls at their state championship. I don't know if you've had the chance to try our balls, but today you can with 15% off. Use code CSSBalls. That's right, CSSBALLS on our website, diademsports.com, to get any of these balls for 15% off. Yeah, I think that can make a huge impact with people that are on the same page, trying to get to the same goals. Correct. And those sort of things. What do you do anything different for those players that are clearly on a professional path in their day-to-day or anything like that to help them get there?
Look, we train all our players the same. Whether you want to play professionally or not, we want to make sure we get the best out of each individual. So really we are in our team, we have, kind of a day-to-day. We practice in the mornings. We have our team practice in the mornings. Then we go to fitness conditioning right after practice. So we're done with our tennis at 1. Then they go to class in the afternoon, and depending on their class schedule, we do some private work in the afternoon. So everything that our guys and girls are doing, we're trying to get them to get better, stronger. Yes.
That's awesome. And your strength and conditioning program, I know that's an important piece for any tennis player, especially in college. What's your relationship with that aspect of your players' lives? Are you very involved?
We do some on-court fitness. We have a private fitness coach that does our fitness.
Is it just tennis?
Just tennis. Mm-hmm. Well, they tennis and soccer. Okay. So 2 different sports. But our fitness coaches do an unbelievable job with our team. And one of our goals this year as coaches, whenever the fall started, we told our fitness coaches, look, we want to make sure our guys and girls are getting physically stronger to where, they're feeling in good shape, feeling, stronger in the court. Obviously the stronger you are, you get less injured. So that was one of our main goals early on this fall. And, looking back at during our individual meetings, every single one of our players, men and women, they got fitter and stronger.
That's big time. I'm sure that'll play off a lot this spring season. Yeah. Especially another piece there was with injuries that you talked about a little bit. I think when you're bigger, faster, stronger, that helps a lot. And then I'm also wondering what the sport medicine piece is with FAU, because I know that's another big benefit for a lot of players playing in college is they get access to fitness trainers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just we have an unbelievable staff around us. Our fitness trainers, any little injury, they're on it, taking care of our our guys and girls. So they do a phenomenal job. They work endless hours. They get to the training room at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. Dealing with many sports, because we're not the only sport at FAU, obviously, and they leave in the evening. So kudos to them, and we're super thankful for them. They not only help our guys and girls who are injured, but they help prevent injuries as well. So they're on it.
That's big time. And then I think we can jump back too and talk a little bit about your career as a player, because I know you ended up finding a lot of success at Georgia. You guys won a national championship, right?
Yeah, that was awesome. One of the coolest experiences I've had, being a national champion with my best friends, It was awesome. I was at Georgia actually about a month ago. I took my daughters and my family just to, we spent a weekend over there, and it was so cool to just show them around, and it was an unbelievable experience.
That's awesome. How much has that experience kind of paved the way for your coaching career?
It has. Manny Diaz, he was my coach at Georgia. During my time there, 2003 to 2007, and he's the best coach in the country. He does a phenomenal job, not just on the court, but off the court. Just does a phenomenal job with the team culture, and yes, he's helped me out big time throughout my career.
I think that's always interesting is, that good players usually need good coaches, but I think oftentimes good coaches also need good coaches, especially early in their career, to learn from and see how to mold those intricate parts of a program that you don't necessarily consider if you're not around someone that's doing that kind of stuff, right?
Right. No, and definitely just being around a culture of excellence at Georgia helped me a lot throughout my coaching career. Like I said earlier, when I first started, I didn't feel like I know what I was doing. I got a ton of help from Manny Diaz and many other coaches in the business, and just really trying to learn the system, trying to learn from, just keep getting better and better, because I know I wasn't so good when I started. So I look back now and I'm like, oh, what the heck was I doing back then? But and I'm still learning. It's been a great, fun journey.
Have you seen a transition or any differences between when you were playing college tennis and then the landscape of college tennis today?
Oh my gosh, tremendously. I think, yes. I mean, I think it's so competitive now. Looking back then, the 2007 national championship team that I was a part of, I think you asked many people that it's probably one of the best teams ever in the history. But now just looking at all these teams, it's just, you just can't compare, the depth of college tennis. We've been between 30 and 60 in the country for the past few years at FAU. And, back then, I think a school that was 50 to 100 in the country, maybe they weren't so good, and now you see schools 100 and 200 in the country. They've got really, really, really good players, and it's challenging for all the juniors, American juniors. It's getting more competitive, more people from all over the world. So I think it's pushing everyone to just get that much better.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the other pieces is that in the past, maybe it was perceived that you couldn't go play college and then play professional. So I think right now there's clear indications from especially a lot of the American pros that the college pathway to the pros is a viable way to do it.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any way around it. You've got to be really, 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 really good to turn pro at a young age.
100%. We'll let you get out of here so you can go find some more future Owls at the Orange Bowl today. And I'm really thankful that you took the time to sit down with us, learn a little bit more about FAU. And before we go, if you wanted to leave us with a last little recruiting pitch for any juniors that are maybe thinking about going to FAU, what would you want to tell them?
That's a good one. And I think not just for FAU, but just any if they're looking to get recruited, I think part of the challenge that I see in many of the juniors is they get so involved in college, just the whole process, to where they, in the UTR, they focus too much on results, okay, because obviously they want to get into a good college, they want to find a scholarship and everything, and they forget about the process. I think very important, just stay focused in the present. I've seen many players struggle through that journey because they're focusing on UTR, they're focusing on other players, not just their journey. And I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself properly, but I have seen many recruits struggle during their senior year. So my suggestion for FAU or any other school is, stay focused on what you're doing. The results will come. Don't stress so much about a bad loss, or if your UTR went down 0.1 or 0.2, just stay focused on the present, keep working, and the result will come.
I think that's a great point, and I also think that people are probably going to rewind that one and watch it back. Again, guys, this is Courtside Sessions, and thank you guys for taking the time to watch. We'll be back with more soon.